Hello, it is Tuesday and it's IoT Tuesday here on my stream. I am Samuel joining here to make your Tuesday evenings exciting. If you're into technology and you're passionate about IoT, this is a channel to be on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Due to some technical challenges, we're unable to start a bit earlier as scheduled. But today being the very first episode of IoT Tuesday, I wanted to make sure I come live just to give you some intro into what to be expecting on this channel, and then also to let you know that we're on course and a lot of exciting things gonna happen. So today, what are we going to talk about? I want to take this opportunity to introduce you to what IoT is, kind of give you a heads up or give you some intro into what to expect on the channel. Um, every Tuesday from now, we're going to have a lot of fun on this channel. I'm going to show you momentarily a few things that you'll be seeing on this channel going forward. But basically, this channel is going to be on IoT, what it is about, sensors, microcontrollers, how to put things together to create your own IoT solutions, both hobby solutions, commercial solutions, and everything in between. Without much ado, I want to get straight into it. So if you're new to IoT or you've been wondering what it is, basically IoT stands for Internet of Things. Now, what is the Internet of Things? The Internet of Things, it's simply a network of interconnected things or devices or machines or objects or humans or animals, wearables, microwaves, TV sets, lights, you name it. It's just an interconnection of all these devices, with sensors and other peripherals to collect data or to exchange data or to orchestrate and do some cool stuff. So that's what IoT is about. So your car can be an IoT device, your ceiling fan could be an IoT device. Anything, both mechanical and digital, cannot be made into IoT devices or what sometimes we term as smart devices. So specifically, I'll be using a certain number of IoT devices or what we call microcontrollers. I'll be using some specific ones, but throughout the channels, seasons, and episode and things to come, I'll be using different sensors. I'll be using different peripherals, and I will show you how to connect those sensors to the microcontrollers, how to read data from them, how to send data to them. But the most important thing about this channel is not just connecting the sensors, but is to be able to read data from it, send data to the cloud, manipulate it, do some kind of like, analytics or statistics, or do fun stuff with it in the cloud. And when I talk of the cloud, I'm being specific to Microsoft Azure Cloud. So we're going to be utilizing majority of the Microsoft offerings for IoT. So we'll be taking a look at IoT Central. We'll be taking a look at IoT Solutions Accelerator. We will look at the IoT Edge, IoT Hub. We'll look at the Digital Twin. We'll look at Azure Sphere and then Azure Maps. So we'll be mashing up some of these services, and technologies to create our own solutions. During the course of this stream or this channel, I'll be proposing solutions, or I'll be requesting for ideas on things to create on the channel. So we all do it hands-on. You can see how it is done. So I would encourage you to, tweet at me or connect with me on any of my social media streams so that, suggest ideas and do some cool stuff. So with that said, I'll be sharing a few resources on the blog post that comes after the live stream, and that's going to give you more details about where to start, what you need, and all that. But specifically, if you have any need for IoT, especially gaining access to the devices so that you can try the things that I'll be showing on the stream, you can get in touch with me. We can arrange to get you some of the devices and the sensors and the hardwares. So reach out. Now, I'm going to go right into it. And let me switch to this camera so I can show you where the goods are. Hopefully you can see this. And this is what we are going to be having fun with. Let me flip to this income bench right here. Yep. So these are a subset of the microcontroller unit sensors and devices that we'll be working with on this channel. I wanted to use today's episode just as an introductory episode to let you understand some of the things we'll be doing on the stream. So amongst the microcontroller boards or kits that we'll be using is the almighty, we have the almighty Raspberry Pi. This is a 3B. We have an MX chip dev kit that has a bunch of sensors, all on it, for development purposes. We have the EXP 8266, cool, very inexpensive with Wi-Fi, and all that crazy things. And then we have the almighty Arduino. We have the Uno. We'll be working with it. We have um, another version of the ESP. We have the Azure Sphere. Now, the Azure Sphere is actually this is the MT3620 board. It's actually the first is the first Microsoft Azure certified IoT dev kit. This enables you to create secured IoT applications. It's got end-to-end encryption, comes with its own OS and firmware update and provisioning, which is handled by Microsoft for the entire lifetime of this device. Cool, really, really cool device. So these are just a few of the dev kits or developer boards we'll be using. In addition to these boards, we'll be using a lot of sensors. I have a T-coupler here for the Raspberry Pi. You can see we have here I hope you can see this. Let me pick this up. We have a motion sensor. So for those of you who have seen motion sensors work with security systems, this is how you have a dev kit version here you can use to prototype and create anything you want on IoT. Um, I've got here a relay. So relays allow you to control external devices. So let's say I can use this relay to determine to turn on or off a light, a fan, and other stuff. I'll actually show. I'll give you an example of a demo that I will create with this particular relay and some other tool to show you how that's done. We have an LED display, LCD display, for showing information on your IoT project. We also have some digital displays that we can also use to show some output if we want to. I have here kind of like a pressure or weight sensor, which we can utilize in some project as well. There is a rain sensor here. So the rain sensor allows you to um, determine, just like if it's raining. So let's say I have an automatic irrigation system that I have built using IoT sensors and devices. I can add this rain sensor to it and determine if it's raining, the irrigation system shouldn't go on because it's already raining. You don't need it. You have to be smart. Something you can use this for to do that. I have here. This is actually a temperature sensor. It's a high grade temperature sensor, quite very accurate. We'll be using that in the stream. I have here. So this is like a gauge. It's a gauge sensor or tilt sensor. So what happens is that if you put this, let's say, in a tank of water or any fluid, now as the fluid is actually getting filled, this cock here pushes up. And as that happens, it triggers or sends a signal to tell you if it's full or not. So think about this. You can use this to create solutions where you have, let's say, some water in a container and you're filling it and you want to know when it's filled so that the tap automatically shuts off. You can use sensors like this, to do that. Here we have a bunch of sensors. I'll have to pick this up to show you. Hope you can see this. So here we have a soil moisture sensor. So if you're trying to do your own gardening or smart gardening, you can use this to determine the moisture level in the soil, and then you can actually trigger whether it should be watered or not. We have a temperature and humidity sensor, which is right here. Hope you can see that. We'll be also using that. We have a gas sensor. So let's say in your home or around, you want to create an IoT solution that detects gases and maybe respond or react to it when setting um, unfriendly or toxic gases are in the atmosphere. You can use this to do that. Then we have here, kind of like an ultrasonic sensor, range sensor. You can use this for your smart robots, which we will do in this channel. We're actually going to do create our own robotic kit. I'll show you that in a bit. What else? And then here we have an infrared transceiver. Transceiver in the sense that this particular module or sensor can send and receive infrared signals. Just this module here. And we have, a MOSFET which can serve as a relay in some situations. So these are just a few of the sensors we're going to be using. I have here a servo, more for robotics arm. We can see a bunch of LEDs. We have a bunch of LEDs we're going to be using, and then we have a magnetic switch which we might use in one of the solutions. So it works this way: when it comes into contact, the circuit is closed. So uh, think of this as in a security system where you have this, let's say, on your window. So what happens is that when the window is open, the circuit is broken and it triggers an alarm or something. So think of it in that perspective as well. What having to introduce here, smart buttons. So we'll be using smart buttons to trigger a few processes. Assuming you have this button, you give it to a friend or a loved one, and they are in distress, they can actually click this button, and then it will send you an SMS notification or something, depending on how you program it. So we'll be using that as well. Then this is another dev kit from NXP. This also has all the sensors inbuilt, so we'll be using that on the stream. Let's come here. As you can see, we have our robot, we have our autonomous vehicle chassis. So we'll be building this also on the stream. So just to give you an idea that you don't want to miss activities on the stream, we are going to build this robot hands-on. So you're going to learn how to do that on the stream as well. Yep, we have a bunch of LED strips, RGB LED strips. So some cool stuff also going to happen as well with this. We just have to be creative about it. And I'm going to flip this. Now, Almighty, we have this. Let me change to this view. So you might be wondering why I have, how do I put it? Like a siren light or something like that. So I'm going to use this to do something very, very unique, which all of you can partake on the channel. So I'm going to give you a scenario on using this. Take an example. We mentioned that we have a gas, the gas sensor. Okay, so let's say that we set up this gas sensor to read certain toxic gases. Now, sometimes, yes, you can program it to send you an alert, an email, but sometimes, to be very honest, we tend not to be checking our emails or SMSs when we are in a groove, listening to some cool music or watching some cool video. However, think about the situation whereby this gas sensor picks up some toxic gas and then sends a message to, let's say, our Raspberry Pi that, hey, this is the readings you're having. And then the Raspberry Pi in turns talks to this relay, and this relay turns on this light. Now, this visually gives you an indication of something going on. So you're not just waiting for that SMS to come or phone to vibrate, because for all you know, you might probably be charging your phone somewhere in the bedroom or in the hall or somewhere. But with this visual indicator, the light blinking and maybe the siren, blowing, you know and hear that something is actually going on. So this is just to give you a hint into what this channel is all about. This is the very first episode, just introducing you to what we're going to do on the channel. I'll try as much as possible to keep this to very short, 15-20 minutes on the channel, followed by a blog post step by step, and then you make a date with me on Sunday where we do the hands-on, 1 hour, 1.5 hours. We do the coding live for you to see how I built whatever I showed today or on Tuesdays on the channel. Now, with that said, remember, if you have any questions, if you have any demands or needs on IoT, tweet at me, send me messages on any of my social media handles down there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to this channel as well, so that you can get more goodies coming. If you're really interested about IoT, this is a channel to be. With that said, make a date with me next Tuesday for another episode of IoT Tuesday, where we're actually going to start to program our IoT devices and read sensor values. With that, I bid you good night. Have a wonderful rest of the evening and always learn something new.